news. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lamido Sanusi, said on Tuesday that the CBN would have no option than to print naira to save more ailing banks in the country. Addressing the media at the end of the 210th Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the bank, Mr. Sanusi said that CBN does not require any appropriation by the National Assembly for it to lend money to the banks as part of its statutory responsibilities. According to him, the management team of the bank would on Wednesday meet the Senate Committee on Banking to answer questions ranging from whether the bank has the right to lend money or answer to charges of improper appropriation of money to the 5 troubled banks. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has issued an order stopping the factional leader of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Chekwas Okori, from organizing a convention for the party. The court also stopped the Independent National Electoral Commission from participating in any convention organized by Mr. Okori in the name of APGA. Justice Gabriel Kolawole is the vacation judge who granted the order following an export application argued by APGA and its chairman, Chief Victor Ume. The Jigawa state government has received 62 members of Darul Salam Islamic Group recently dispersed from Niger State. Aminu Abdullahi, the secretary to the Jigawa state government, who received the group on Tuesday at Unity Secondary School, Ringim, advised them to live in peace with their respective communities. The leader of the group, Ustaz Aliyu Salihu, in a response, assured that peace and unity were what they had always preached, noting that such was necessary if Islam was to be practiced. Commercial banks in Awka, the Anambra state capital, have resumed operations 8 days after a robbery attack that resulted in the death of 3 persons, including 2 bank workers. During the robbery incident, which occurred on Monday, August 24, 2009, huge sums of money were carted away by the robbers, who attacked 6 banks and left many people wounded. Other banks which were not affected by the robbery attack had also stopped work as a mark of solidarity. The Katsina state government has released 7.6 million naira for the purchase of insecticides to fight koala birds and worms, which invaded farmlands in some parts of the state. Sani Makana, the state commissioner for agriculture, said on Tuesday in May Adua, near Katsina, that the insecticides were already being sprayed in affected areas. He was speaking shortly after inspecting some farms devastated by the birds and worms in May Adua, Zango, and Sandamu local government areas. Councillors in Hadejia local government area of Jigawa State, Nigeria, have summoned the chairman, Jamilu Mujadadi, to appear before them and answer some questions. A councillor who asked for anonymity said on Tuesday in Hadejia that the chairman would answer questions on absenteeism and negligence of duty. He further claimed that Mr. Mujadadi had failed to comply with a directive from the state governor, Sule Lamido, to feed people at the grassroots throughout the Muslim fasting period. The Secretary of the Federal Capital Territory Social Development Secretariat, Bala Adamu, has said that the displaced victims of Monday's flood in Kubwa would be accommodated at the government secondary school Duse Alaji. Mr. Adamu told the News Agency of Nigeria on Tuesday in Abuja that about 62 people were rendered homeless by the flood. According to him, the Secretariat had submitted a proposal to the Procurement Department in the FCT for the purchase of relief materials as well as medical supplies for the victims. A 19-year-old man, Nnadozie Ezeali, has appeared before an Abakaliki Magistrates Court, Ebonyi State, Nigeria, for sexually assaulting 2 infants and stealing money belonging to the mother of his victims. Mr. Ezeali, who is unemployed, is standing trial on a 2-count charge of theft and sexually assaulting 2 infants of the same parents, aged 5 and 6 years. The police prosecutor, Nkwagwu Igboka, told the court on Tuesday that Mr. Ezeali dipped his fingers into the private parts of the infants on August 24 at their home on Bassi Street, Abakaliki. The accused, who pleaded guilty to the charges, prayed the court for summary trial. Nigeria has received expressions of interest from 13 potential investors in the sale of at least 75% of Nitel, the former state telecoms monopoly, which it has been trying to privatize for years. The Bureau of Public Enterprises said it would evaluate interest from companies including the Nigerian arms of South Africa's MTN and Etisalat, MTNL India, a group involving Spain's Telefonica, and Nigerian firm Globacom. Nigeria is one of the world's fastest growing mobile markets, adding 7 million new subscribers in the last quarter of 2008 alone, and has overtaken South Africa to become the biggest on the continent. Oil edged above $68 a barrel on Wednesday, reversing part of the previous day's slide of 3% after industry data showed a sharp fall in U.S. crude stocks, boosting hopes of a demand rebound in the world's top energy user. The release of more closely watched U.S. Energy Information Administration data later in the day could confirm the bullish report from the American Petroleum Institute and further underpin market sentiment. As at Wednesday morning, U.S. crude for October delivery was up 44 cents at $68.48 a barrel, after falling nearly 3% to settle Tuesday at $68.05. London Brent crude rose 57 cents to $68.30 a barrel. Italian aerobatic jets, paragliders with fireworks, dancers, and an equestrian fantasia electrified Tripoli on Tuesday night when Libya marked 40 years since a bloodless coup brought Muammar Gaddafi to power. Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez was Gaddafi's guest of honor at a 2-hour military parade that kicked off 6 days of festivities across the North African desert country. Organizers said the long-isolated OPEC member wanted to show the world it was open again for business after years of heavy sanctions and show it could be a new gateway to Africa. Tribal violence in southern Sudan has killed at least 1,200 people this year and could mar the country's first multi-party elections in 2 decades if it is not stopped, the UN's peacekeeping coordinator has said. Tribal clashes in South Sudan states of Jonglei, Upper Nile, and Lake have also displaced 250,000 people since January, the UN says. Annual death tolls from such incidents in recent years have been about 20 people. Speaking to Reuters in a telephone interview from Juba, David Gressley, the United Nations Mission in Sudan's regional coordinator for South, warned that the violence could mar the elections due next April. Second seed Andy Murray enjoyed a rough-and-tumble first-round victory against power-hitting Ernest Gulbis of Latvia on Tuesday, even though he might have been upstaged by a ball boy. The Briton dispatched the 95th-ranked Gulbis, who is as likely to miss wildly as he is to paint a corner with a blistering ground stroke, but the world number 2 was made to work hard for a 7-5, 6-3, 7-5 win. His relatively smooth progress was jolted in the third set, however, when Murray made a mad dash to retrieve a half volley and hit the deck just after reaching the ball with a backhand, sending the Scots sprawling along the rubberized hard court. Nigeria Super Eagles got down to business on Tuesday with 16 out of the 23 invited players put through their paces by Shoaibu Amodu and his assistants. Only 7 players were still being expected at the time Super Eagles set out to their first training at the main bowl of the National Stadium in Abuja on Tuesday evening ahead of Sunday's 2010 FIFA World Cup qualifying cracker against the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. Thank you for watching Next News. For more information on these and other stories, please visit our website at 234next.com. That's 234next.com.